Tyrese Haliburton is insane. After having an extremely impressive rookie season with the Sacramento Kings, Tyrese has done nothing but improve season after season. And ever since he was moved to the Indiana Pacers in a very surprising deal, Tyrese has really taken his game to the next level. But quickly, before we get the video started, for those of you who may not know, I'm Juicy Sports, I make opinionative NBA content, and if you guys enjoy videos similar to this, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that post notification bell. I also want to quickly mention that I recently started up an MMA channel, and if you guys are interested in that, the link will be in the description. But anyways, let's get into it. Tyrese Haliburton was drafted with the number 12 overall selection during the 2020 NBA draft by the Sacramento Kings. And originally when Tyrese was getting drafted, there were a lot of questions about him. He had a very unorthodox jump shot, so there were certainly questions on whether or not that jump shot would translate to the NBA well or not. There were also some questions about his offensive game as a whole. There were certainly some questions about his passing and playmaking ability, but people saw that as pretty good at that point. But overall, the main concerns about Tyrese was his offensive abilities. But once Tyrese was drafted in the NBA and played some in his rookie season, he proved that he was very good. In his rookie season, he averaged 13 points per game on 47% shooting from the field, 3 rebounds per game on 5.3 assists. And the biggest concern that I mentioned before was his jump shot shooting, but in his rookie season, Tyrese hit an incredible almost 41% from deep. So he's really silencing a lot of those concerns that people had about him. But the thing about Tyrese in his rookie season, of course, was not only was he playing very well in terms of his passing and playmaking ability, but he's also doing a great job offensively, both driving all the way to the basket by finishing around players with crafty layups or finishing through players with N1 finishes, also doing a nice job at that 3-point range with those catch and shoot 3-point jump shots, alongside with creating for himself from that 3-point range, at times creating for himself from that mid-range area, and overall Tyrese just looked like a very good offensive player, which was honestly somewhat of a surprise considering all the concerns that people had about him going into the NBA. But after his very impressive rookie season, people were very excited about Tyrese going forward, and rightfully so. He had a great rookie season and he was looking to build off that. And in his second season, he made nice improvements, averaging 14 points per game on 46% shooting from the field, 4 rebounds on 7.4 assists. That season during the 2021 year, he got a little bit more of an opportunity and he played better for sure. He showed off all the hard work that he put into his game during that offseason, and he did a really nice job at just improving his game. And around midway through the season, people were very happy about the way Tyrese was playing that year. But after Tyrese has publicly committed to the Sacramento Kings for the rest of his career, the Kings actually decided to trade him away to the Indiana Pacers. And at the time, it was a very surprising move to basically everybody in the NBA, even Tyrese. Because typically when you have a young point guard on your roster that's extremely talented and has proven the ability to be very good, that's typically something you don't trade away, because very talented point guards are extremely important in the new age NBA and really in general. Because if you can have a really talented point guard that could both A, create for himself, but more importantly B, create for others at a very high level, that's extremely valuable, and that's something that wins you championships. So trading away a guy like that is very surprising. But after that deal went down, Tyrese really flipped a switch ever since getting to the Pacers. With the Pacers that same season, he bumped up his statistics across the board, averaging 17 points per game on 50% shooting from the field, 4.3 rebounds on 9.6 assists. Just incredible numbers. The season following that, which is this season, Tyrese did a really nice job at bumping up his numbers across the board once again, averaging 21 points per game on 48% shooting from the field, 3.8 rebounds on 10.2 assists. And when you watch Tyrese out there this season, it's pretty clear it's not just the numbers, it's not just empty stats. He's playing extremely well out there. And when you look at Tyrese's career thus far, his young NBA career, he's done a phenomenal job at consistently improving his game season after season. And not only is he improving season after season, he's doing a great job at improving significantly. And I mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but that's exactly what you want to see from your younger guys. You want to see them improve year after year. And the fact that Tyrese is doing it at a very high level is extremely promising long term. But the reason why Tyrese specifically is so valuable to the Indiana Pacers is due to the fact that he makes everybody around him so much better. He's one of those guys that could basically fit in on any team because his teammates would love him, he would make everybody's lives easier out there, but he also does a great job at scoring for himself as well. And he also doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands at all times. Of course he does at times, but he also does a nice job at spreading the floor out and being a catch and shoot 3-point jump shooter. And when you look at the success that the Indiana Pacers had with a 20-17 record, which is certainly well above expectations so far, Tyrese has had a ton to do with it. Now of course the Pacers have had a few other guys on the roster step up, but in my opinion I think Tyrese has even had a lot to do with that as well. The Pacers at this point are just a very fun, overachieving young team. And in my opinion, if they're able to do this very early on into the rebuild process, I think they have a very bright future. If they could somehow bring in a star to this organization and put him alongside a guy like Tyrese Haliburton, I think the sky's the limit for this team. Because they already have a bunch of other supplementary pieces that are young guys that are only going to improve with time. And honestly, long term, within the next 4 or 5 seasons, I honestly could see the Pacers being championship contenders, and maybe even winning a championship within the next 5 seasons. Now I know that might sound crazy at this point considering they just started the rebuild, but if they bring in a significant piece, either through the draft or free agency, things can really turn very quickly. And even at this point, they're already playing very well. They're the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference when they're basically in their first season of their rebuild. So the Pacers are certainly a team that I'm going to be keeping my eye on over the next couple seasons. But for Tyrese Haliburton specifically, I would say the sky's the limit for him as well. He's been a guy that's proven season after season to improve his game by putting in all that hard work during the off seasons, and honestly going forward long term, I wouldn't expect that to change at all. I would expect him to continuously improve year after year, and honestly I could see him accelerate his growth at some point. I just think he's an extremely talented player that has a knack for the NBA game and just has a phenomenal basketball IQ, and all those things put together alongside with his fantastic defensive ability really just makes him a great player. And going forward long term, I honestly would be somewhat surprised if he doesn't turn into an all-star caliber player at some point. And I'm not even just talking about a borderline all-star, I'm talking about a guy that's a legitimate all-star that makes it a lot of seasons. But hopefully for his sake and the Indiana Pacers' sake, he stays on the Pacers for the rest of his career and he ends up having a great career with them. They make the playoffs a bunch of seasons, maybe they make the finals a season, maybe they win a championship a season, who knows what can happen in the long-term future, but hopefully they're able to build some continuity there and just have success. Because I also do see Tyrese as a very loyal guy, and I do see him as a player that wants to stay with one team for the rest of his career. But I guess only time will tell what does end up happening with both Tyrese Haliburton but also the Indiana Pacers, but I honestly do see success going forward for both. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Tyrese Haliburton has a bright future going forward, or do you not think so? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you did enjoy, check one of these 2 videos popping up now, and until the next time, peace out guys.